guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a pretty busy week for me. I believe it's been about 5 or 6 days. It's my last video, almost about exactly a week. This week or last week was just insane. I had like an errand to do every day, and doing errands with the baby is horrible because you kind of get them out of their routine. So he was missing naps and he was cranky. It's crazy. Anyways, I just kind of wanted to do a quick video. I don't really have any like makeup, anything today, or hair, or really anything. I kind of just wanted to make this a little personal. I know I've mentioned a few videos. I think my first video that I was diagnosed with postpartum depression after the baby was born. And I also believe I mentioned my last video about how possessive I am with him when I introduced you guys to him. So this is going to be a little bit hand in hand. First of all, look like a mess. It's been thunderstorms all day, and he barely took a nap about 2 hours ago. It was just so loud he could not sleep. So, of course, my hair is never done, but oh well. Anyways, this video, it is going to be personal. I want to do this video because it's been on my mind a lot lately, so I'm hoping maybe talking it out will help. And also, I'm hoping people have gone through this and they can give me more of like their insight or advice, or if people don't talk about it, you're not alone. This video is going to be about my relationship with my in-laws. I'm not going to say their names. If you know me and you know my husband, you know who they are. If not, then you don't. And I'm going to talk about kind of before and after the baby and all of that. I'm going to kind of make it quick. I don't want this to be a super long video. So, first and foremost, I have a very strong, close relationship with my siblings. I rely and depend on them a lot, my older sister especially. And when me and my husband first met, he didn't have much of a strong relationship with his siblings, and it did bug me because I come from somewhere that does. So, after convincing and talking, I kind of convinced him and put it in his head that one day there's going to be a time where they are the only ones, they only have each other realistically. And he kind of mended the relationships that he had, at least with his brothers. His sisters, I believe from what I hear, has kind of been an on and off situation with them, and I believe it's just because my husband's very independent. He doesn't really like to be involved with anything. Any family events, honestly, if it wasn't for me, he'd never go to them at all. He kind of likes to do his own thing. He's a little lone ranger. And his family, very family oriented. They like to do things together, make trips. They like to go, different places. And he's obviously not like that at all. And I think that's kind of built a wedge between them, because when they think of, oh, we're doing a family event, he's like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna go. So that's always made them kind of different with him and his sisters. And so, when I met my husband, I was excited, like, I'm hoping to have this close relationship with the girls. I have my sister, and we're super close, and that wasn't necessarily the case right off the bat. I honestly don't know the issue, personally. I'm gonna be 100% honest here. I don't know the issue. And I personally think it's because my personality comes off just as strong as my husband's. I am super straightforward. I don't take shit from anybody, excuse my language. I say what's on my mind. If you hurt my feelings, I will hurt you right back. And I think people usually are intimidated by that. I just don't have a filter. I guess you can say I'm the mean one. Like, if you know me and my sister, I'm the mean one. So maybe that was the issue on my end. Maybe I should have gone into it openly, I guess. So there was maybe about a year where I didn't really get to see at least his sisters. I have a pretty good relationship with his brothers. His mom, I would like to say it was okay. We do have a language barrier. She doesn't only speak Spanish, and I'm obviously still learning Spanish since my son's been born. So we struggle with that, but I would like to say it was okay. We tried to speak to each other, and we got around him. I want to say things took a big shift when we moved out and got engaged. We got engaged the same month we moved out. I had no idea. Obviously, he planned the engagement before we moved out, but plays hand in hand. But even he says it, as soon as he proposed to me, the relationship's kind of shifted in a weird way, and you know, to this day me and him don't understand why. I was no longer treated nicely, not nicely, just not as well as I was before, and I don't know why, because I think I would like to say that I'm at least was nice to them. I know I thought of them as my family, but that wasn't the case. It kind of just changed. I don't know if it's because, you know, how he grew up. He's the older boy. I guess he's supposed to take care of the family, and him being engaged to me, it kind of shifted. Okay, well, I have my own family to take care of. We weren't pregnant yet, obviously, but you know, he shifted into, I'm going to take care of my family now. I'm not saying bye, but I just can't take care of you anymore. So maybe that's what happened. I honestly don't know. I'm sure, you know, we all had roles played into it. But it's just weird. Like, we don't know really how it happened. Like I said, he doesn't go to like a lot of the family events. I have to push him to go, and even if we do go, we're not there very long. So when there's a family event, we don't go, not necessarily because we're not invited, but they either tell him, and he doesn't tell me and he forgets himself, or they just kind of forget to tell him because he does work a lot, or we used to work a lot, and our schedules were kind of all over the place. So that was kind of one of the reasons why we weren't very close to everybody's, because we kind of were worried about our own selves. Then I got pregnant, and you know, I was thinking like, you know, this baby's gonna bring everyone in close together again. Who doesn't love to be around a baby? You know, I love babies, so I was like, you know, this is gonna be it. Even when I got pregnant, me and my sister were fighting, and we made up when I told her I was pregnant. So it's like, babies bring everybody together, and that's not the case necessarily. I mean, everyone was excited and I loved to see it, but it still was different. Like I told you in my last video, introducing the baby, that I kind of wanted to be a hands-on mom, and I want to say that maybe that just wasn't expected. As in, like, I'm gonna watch him, I will babysit him, I will take care of him, everything. I don't need to babysit, he's mine, and that was the case. So maybe I kind of was just more like possessive, and I think that pushed people away. That's not necessarily saying that I didn't want them in his life, but it was difficult. I still, you know, wanted them to want to feel him kick. He was a very, very active baby. If I talked to him, he would move. If his dad went up to my stomach and talked, he would move. He was just very alert, and to this day he's very alert, so it's pretty, you know, he responded. And it was funny too, because totally off topic, but he actually responded better to my husband's music rather than my own. And one of the albums I listened to a lot when I was pregnant, and I liked it too, one of the rare ones that I liked as well, was the Kendrick Lamar new album. And I used to always listen to DNA when I was pregnant, and he would like dance, or I don't know what he would do in there, but that was like his song. Anyways, off topic. I wanted them to be involved in the pregnancy. Christian would tell you like, oh, my husband would say like, oh, she has an appointment, we have an appointment, and not many people would call unless we would go over after, like, oh, we had an appointment today, here's an ultrasound picture, you know, we would show them. And I think comparing to like my family was always texting me like every other day, how are you feeling, how's the baby, do you need anything? They're very, very hands-on, whereas I think his family were just so used to us being isolated that it wasn't that way. I mean, like I said, I was hoping for a baby to change that all, but it didn't really happen. After Ezekiah was born, it only got worse. Whereas, like I mentioned in my last video, the baby was taken out of my hands. And it's not necessarily saying like when people come to visit me and him or us, I don't let them hold him, but let me hand him to you. And that's not the case. Like, I understand that you're here to see him or you want to see him, but just let me hand him to you. I'm obviously not in the right state of mind. I don't think they know that I have postpartum depression, but it goes hand in hand with anxiety. Like, I just have the worst anxiety thinking of people holding him and thinking where their hands have been, and it just, the thoughts in my head are crazy. And that's the one thing that bugged me. And I do admit I should have handled the situation right away, but I kind of left it and bit my tongue to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. And that's when I kind of confronted my husband, like, look, this is what's happening. I'm not comfortable with it. And he understood, but I think if I would have handled it differently, handled it myself from the way beginning, we wouldn't have gotten this bad. So I definitely take fault for that. But now, like, as the baby is 3 months, it's just kind of getting worse day by day. He, I hate to say this, but he doesn't necessarily know that side of the family, and he has such a personality, and if he doesn't know you and he's not comfortable and doesn't know where he's at, you can tell he's tense, like, to the fullest. Last time we were there, he kind of just hugged me, and he moves around a lot, so he never just hugs. And that was kind of my one sign. I was like, okay, well, something's not right with him, and he can feel my anxiety, so it's just making everything worse. And then I also definitely think that the problem right now is the fact that I'm not being addressed as a wife or a mother. I am still being addressed as maybe a girlfriend or just a temporary girlfriend, and I'm sticking around. I'm not going anywhere. So I would like to be acknowledged when I'm around and spoken to and respected, because honestly I really don't know if I'll ever be okay to hand him off, to even let the people hold him if they don't respect me or think of me as something, and other than just somebody taking up space or somebody that just popped out a baby. And that's what I'm struggling with, and it does suck for my husband because he's stuck in the middle, and he understands my side and he does understand the other side, and like I said, I've kind of met them halfway and got my hand bit, and he sees that, and it sucks to see him hurting because I do want to fix it. I do want it to get better, but I can't be the only one to get better. I'm not going to change, and he knows that. The only thing we can do for him is to meet halfway, and me and him don't believe that's going to happen. I'm not necessarily making myself the victim in this video. I know there's things I should have done to have prevented it, but when I make those steps to make it better, I'm only getting pushed back. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle of what the hell to do next, because at this point, Ezekiah doesn't have his grandmothers in his life. He has his great-grandmother and his great-great-grandmother, and it sucks. And, you know, he has my sisters and, you know, friends that I call his aunts. So he has people in his life that have supported us since day one, but it's kind of hard for me to sit there and think like, okay, well, you can be a part of his life, but it's okay for you not to talk to me, or just make me feel like I'm less than dirt. And it really does suck. I don't know how much more I can meet halfway. I don't know how much more I could say or do. I think I've done everything that I could possibly do. It's kind of more of just the waiting game. But at the end of the day, it does suck because, you know, we just talked about it last night, and they had like an event or something happened, and he didn't really get much of the information. He got called, but he was working, and nobody made the effort to keep calling, and it does suck. But at the end of the day, it's more of this like, I don't think I'm mentally ready for so many people around the baby. Like, I think the most people he has around the baby, I had around the baby, is like 5, and that's still half the time like I'm still holding him. Like, my anxiety is through the roof. And I'm not using that as an excuse. You know, I'm trying to work on myself to make it better. But you can't also expect somebody who has, you know, anxiety or what I'm going through to change to make someone else better or feel better or happier, because at the end of the day, there's days where I don't feel happy. And I mean, like, I connect with my son and I love him, but there's days where my mind is so frazzled, I'm just not myself. And you really can't expect somebody like that to change for you or to alter the way they live or the way they think because you're unhappy with how the turnout is. I definitely feel like I'll be hesitant from here on out, even if it does get better, because if they were so easy to switch up on me when we got engaged, it's so easy to switch on me again. And I definitely feel like I have respected everybody up until the baby was born, until I got disrespected. And I don't, you know, it does hurt me at the end of the day because I don't know what I did wrong. Like, I had a baby and I feel like I did that wasn't supposed to happen, or I feel like he wasn't supposed to have a baby with me. And they kind of were expecting me to go away, and they weren't expecting me to marry him and stay around and pop out a baby this soon. And it does feel like a shitty situation because I did think of them as family. So I do hope to get better one day. Like I said, I don't know if I'll ever fully get there because damage has been done and I don't forgive very easy. But we'll see. I really, fingers crossed. I'm not making anybody the villain or the victim in this video. It's kind of something where I'm stuck in the middle and I don't know what's gonna happen and how it's gonna get better. So from this point on, it's just me and my little family, and who can support both me and my husband. My family and friends, they respect my husband 110%. We actually didn't even have visitors until my husband went back to work because nobody wanted to interrupt his time with the baby. So my side is a little better. Like I said, though, the baby doesn't have his grandparents in his life, just great-grandparents, and that's fine. That's a different story, and I probably won't ever get into that, but he's loved and taken care of, and I am grateful, and I love everybody who supports us and loves us and thinks of him as family, even when he's not really their blood. And I know that he's gonna grow up and he's gonna know that these people around him loved him and his family and his own, and he's just gonna grow up in such a happy environment. And that's my main goal. You know, I don't want him to grow up the way me and my husband grew up, where it was kind of struggling with family and ourselves and all this stuff. So it's important for him to know that he has so many people in his life that support him and are there for him and have supported me and his dad since day one. So, you know, on the happier note, I am happy for the people who are in our lives. For the people who aren't in our lives at the moment, you know, maybe it'll get better one day, but right now, and maybe in the next month or two, I don't know. I really don't think that's gonna change. So we will play the waiting game and we will see. Holidays are coming up. It's first holiday, so I don't think anyone wants to miss that, but it's all on the ball's in their court. We will hope to see change. And on that note, I will end this semi-long video of me getting a little personal with you guys. Hopefully somebody's been going through this or is going through it and doesn't want to say anything and feels a little alone. You're not alone. I am going through it too. Or if you've gone through it and you have some advice, feel free to comment out. Now I've talked to everybody about this because I always feel like I'm not doing enough. And if not, please just like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will leave my Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter down below and up here somewhere, probably on this side, but who knows, for you guys to follow. Until then, I'll see you guys next video. Bye.